Banjo Kazooie hit the Nintendo 64 as well. Another iconic game. It came out in June of that year, and as I mentioned before, Zelda came out in November. So Banjo Kazooie was kind of the. It looked at face value like a knockoff of Mario 64. And in some ways, and then also that it was like a mascot platformer with this like goofy bear and bird. A real turnoff until you just started playing it and realized like what a remarkable 3D platformer that
I remember when it was announced, we were very disappointed. It was actually called Project Dream, right? And nobody knew what this new game from Rare would be.
Remember that term, I'm gonna bring that back.
Yeah, and Dream then was revealed to be like, I mean, really, the characters looked very generic. We called them Bear the Bear and Bird the Bird, right? And you're like, oh no, that's what Project Dream is. But then you started playing it, and like the score alone, like the Teddy Bear's Picnic song that they had in there, they figured out how to do texture blending where instead of like, if you look at Mario 64 and even Ocarina of Time, they overlaid like these color-changing textures over everything. The game looks so vibrant.
Instead of just one texture on a wall, there's like a shadow texture over a background texture, and you can color those so you get these great gradients that look like real light playing on a wall. Of course, they weren't using light for any of this. It was just textures.
Pre-lighting.
But it looks so different.
I mean, Banjo Kazooie, and then we would get Perfect Dark. I think maybe 1 year later or two. But like that's really Rare at their peak, in my personal opinion.
Rare,
you know, they would sort of, games like Donkey Kong 64 be criticized for being a collectathon, but Banjo really struck that balance perfectly between, there's Jinjos in each stage, but like Jinjo! Each note, or each puzzle piece is, you're collecting jiggies in the game. Each one is a little objective, and then, you know, the notes all serve a purpose and are leading you to specific parts in the map.
New areas are, new puzzles. I really like it. I don't think of it as a collective Donkey Kong 64.
That's why
the notes were a guiding hand more than anything, whereas in DK, it was just bananas everywhere, every color, and it wasn't that much fun.
Well, I also think, I recently replayed Banjo Kazooie on the Xbox 360, Xbox One in the Rare replay, and the notes stay collected when you leave the stage, and they didn't in the N64. You had to get all 100 in one run. If you wanted to get them all. So if you got 95 and then fell to your death. And so I remember you needed to figure out, like, this is the most dangerous part of this stage. This is the most challenging part. So I'm gonna get those 5 notes first. And like figure out a priority list of like, do this part, and you'll die 10 times, but then once you get them, then it's like it's kind of easy after that. It's like figuring out the perfect route through a place like Rusty Bucket Bay.
They took that out in the remake. I think that was a big part of it.
Yeah, it's you know, modern gaming wouldn't really tolerate that sort of note collection, but something is definitely lost by.
So we're honored to have the original reviewer of Banjo Kazooie right with us. He gave it a 9.6 on IGN.com.
I did.
And he happened to this is Per Schneider. He happened to conclude his review with a poem, which I'm going to read right now to cap off our discussion of Banjo Kazooie. You switch it on and think, oh no, this game plays just like Mario, but keep on going and then soon the depth of gameplay makes you swoon. Characters goofy and writing clever, if only the boots would talk forever. Dynamic music is too cool, the graphics knock you off your stool. No blur, no fog, no crappy sound, a major flaw cannot be found. With levels deep and textures rich, this bear makes Gex and Croc his...
Wow, look at edgy. Well, you have to actually have that as subtitles
I've had that in my pocket for over a week.
While you hear like...
It's hard to believe that this isn't your first language.
Thank you.
Poetry like that.
Yeah, I know. It's beautiful. It was, No, I mean, the game, obviously, the text that Grundhilde says is rhymes, right? Like, she speaks in rhymes. So that's why, you know. I was being meta.
I love the end of that. The trivia at the end, the trivia game at the end of Banjo Kazooie.
Trivia game's terrible. It's such a great game, but
I like it. That game has so many different gameplay styles in it. So many awesome characters. And like the boots, right? Like the boots make farting noises. What can be better? Farting boots.
The tall boots, you mean, when you're walking?
No, there's a pair of boots.